Okay, so thank you very much, gentlemen, for your opening statements. We have 4 questions. We've allowed 5 minutes for each candidate to give a response. I think, but in fairness to everybody, we'll rotate to the next question down the line. So, Jim, you'll be the first person to respond to this question. It's very simple. Julie's going to ask this question, and you have 5 minutes to respond. We'd like to invite you to come up to the podium to do that.
So, please present your qualifications for the position of the Sorano Board of Directors.
My qualifications is that I am a homeowner. I'm a very interested homeowner. I've attended the meetings for the last year, so I've gotten intimately involved with the HOA and the inner workings and the issues. And I've also speech is not my favorite thing, but my qualifications basically are that I have been involved with the HOA, like I said, the board of directors, and a lot of issues. I've made a lot of suggestions to the board with regard to the election rules, which actually caused some fairly major changes in the way we're doing business today. As far as my background, I've been a small business owner. I've worked for a large corporation. I have a lot of experience in understanding budgets and that type of thing. I'm pretty much a problem solver is what I think my forte is. I like challenges and I like to tackle problems. We have a lot of problems in this association that I'm really dying to start working with Robert and Mr. Getz. Did you say? Oh, I thought you said it. Time was up. But I'm really focused in on trying to improve everything around the HOA and also the, like we talked about, we want owners first. We want to be proactive to owners, and that's basically it. It's just a drive that I have.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Mr. Thompson? You got 5 minutes.
All right, can I get it one more time so I make sure I hit everything? What are the qualifications?
Your qualifications for the position.
Okay. Well, as I said previously, I was part of the inaugural board of directors for Natomas Park, a very similar sized HOA. I eventually became the president of that board of directors, and that's where I realized how an HOA that's properly aligned with the owners can really be a positive force in the community, how they can really make the owner's life better and do what I think the primary focus of an HOA should be, which is to stabilize your property value. That's our interest. This is a corporation and your home is a share, so we're all shareholders in the corporation, and the goal is to make sure our property values stay high. And we do that through a common sense approach to the way we kind of deal with our own community and how we deal with each other. And fundamentally, I think you can have respect, you can disagree without being disagreeable, and in the last year that I've attended board meetings, I don't see that from the board. I don't see being respectful to owners, I don't see being respectful to other points of view and different opinions, and I believe I do have the ability to do that. In Sorano here, I was able to, I guess it makes sense for background's sake, I've been in law enforcement for 21 years. I'm a former police officer, I'm now a criminal investigator. So when I kind of get my teeth into something, I want to see it all the way through. So if an issue kind of catches my attention, I will sometimes, as my wife says, I will take it to its illogical conclusion just to continue to doggedly pursue it. So a good example is we had a security arrangement with the Parkway. Some of you may know about that, some of you may not. But we were essentially providing security services to another community. That doesn't sound right to me. I looked into it. I went to the board of directors and I said, you're breaking the law. You can't do this. You don't have the right kind of license. You don't have the right kind of permits. What you're doing is illegal, and you're exposing the HOA to millions of dollars in fines. They said, thank you very much. I got an email the next day saying the contract is canceled, but that was it. No one was ever disciplined, no one was ever fined, no one was ever, to my knowledge, nothing ever happened other than, okay, so we won't do that again. So I would hope that that would have given me some credibility with the board, that I know what I'm talking about, let me be part of the solution. I said, can we form a traffic and safety committee so that security, which is a huge part of our budget, we can start to have owners give input on the direction that we can go. It took a year, it took the board a year to form a traffic and safety committee, but they did. And I'm on it now here in Serrano. We are looking at things like the CHP contract and the sheriff's contract, where we spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a year for supplemental security through those agencies. I also asked that we form a finance committee so that owners that have the requisite background can have input in our budget to demystify it so that the rest of us can understand it, have input about those types of things. It's important for us to be able to simply explain where our money goes. Because if you look at a balance sheet right now, sometimes it's not so clear. This is your money, this is our money, and we should have a very clear understanding where it goes, and that's part of the process, I think. Education, I have a bachelor's degree in history and political science, I have a master's in public administration, and I have all my coursework for my PhD, but I didn't get published, so I can't quite claim that title. But the management background has been, the public administration has been the most important, because it helps me logically structure and organize this type of stuff. And the size we are and the scope that we are, I think those are important things that we're able to manage. We are the size of a small city, and the interactions you have with the HOA should be positive ones. And I think we can do a better job than we're doing. I'd like to think those skills and my experiences have kind of teed me up to be able to do that. I feel like I was successful in the past. In my previous community, I feel like I left Natomas Park in better shape than I found it. I didn't do any of it by myself. Mr. Hammond was very astute to point out that no one member of this board, no one candidate can promise you anything. It takes 3 votes out of the 5 to move anything forward. So working together is a key part of how this thing should go. And if you've been to any board meetings lately, working together is not something that this current board does well. And I think we can do better. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Mr. Hammond?
Thank you. I had the pleasure of being a mayor of a major city, Fairfield, California. When I became the mayor, we were 90,000 people. And if you were mayor with a major ego, which is what I had, I wanted us to be 100,000 before I left office. And we were at 98,252 when I left. Well, I was mayor. But I served 4 terms as a council person, 1 as a vice mayor, almost 16 years. And I can absolutely tell you that you have to get along with everyone. When I became the mayor, we had 4 people on the council. We didn't get along, but I asked myself, what do we have in common? What we had in common was everyone loved the city. So I said, okay, what do we do? I took everyone's strengths and we made it work. I've come to 3 meetings here. I heard grumblings coming in and grumblings when I left. That can't work. I would never come to something like that. I am a peacemaker. We made peace for 16 years. And if anyone tells you it can't be done, they're not telling you the truth. If you don't want it to be done, it will not be done. If you want it to work, it will work. So, Mr. Pradmore had mentioned, you know, and I just thought about it. We got 3 seats up. Am I right? 3 seats up for the board?
That's correct.
It might be us. And you didn't even mention me. You mentioned Mr. Thompson. You didn't even mention working with me. What's my win? Give me a hard time. Hey, I have fun, guys. I want you to understand that. I have a lot of fun. But I can tell you that if everybody's on the same page, you can make it work. I was here the other night for a meeting, like I mentioned to you. Grumblings. I went outside, there was grumblings. It's my 3rd meeting. It just can't be. So should I be fortunate enough to get on this board? I'm going to do my part, just like Mr. Thompson said. I'm going to do my part to make sure the grumbling stops.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Hammond.